Then Mike Ward.
Thank you, thank you, Mr. Deputy Speaker. I apologise. And I'd also like to thank the Chancellor for delivering a solid budget statement in very challenging times. I think the Chancellor's achievement, I think, is reflected in the fact that the official opposition party ran out of speakers well over half an hour ago, so little was there to say in response to it. But the Chancellor had three primary tasks today. The first, the immediate support to protect the jobs, the livelihoods of the people in our constituencies, whilst the impact of this pandemic continues to be felt so sharply. Secondly, to lay a framework for rebuilding and the recovery as part of that roadmap to reopening. And thirdly, to level up, to rebalance our economy away from over-reliance on a small number of sectors in a relatively small part of the country. He has achieved that in today's budget, seemingly leaving the Leader of the Opposition with very little left to say. Although being the Leader of the Opposition, of course, that didn't seem to prevent him from taking a long time to demonstrate the fact. The immediate support for people's jobs and livelihoods is clear. The extension to the job retention scheme, it will help 5,300 of my constituents in Dudley South. And I'm also pleased to see that, as well as that, the support that is offered to self-employed workers is now being extended to cover some of the more recent entries into that part of the labour market. But as we start to reopen and rebuild, the support that's been put in place for so many of the parts of the economy that have been hit hardest by lockdown and the pandemic, particularly around retail and hospitality, the restart grants, obviously the freeze on VAT for hospitality and tourism, the freeze on duties, cancelling the index-linked duty rises, and the extension to the business race holiday, extremely important for major employers in our constituencies. But finally, levelling up. The Leader of the Opposition spoke about the last 10 years. Well, actually, under the last Labour government, Dudley's GVA, relative to the rest of the country, fell from 78% in 1997 down to a really quite woeful 64% in 2010. Now, since 2013, we've started to address that, and it started to increase, and in the 5 years before this pandemic, salaries in Dudley rose more quickly than anywhere else in the country. Yeah. I'm pleased that Dudley has been identified as priority areas for the UK Renewal Fund and the Levelling Up Fund, investing in our people and our infrastructure.